fan base is showing its true colours after a defeat, but as always, we are here to talk about it. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you are well or as well as you can be. Oh, God. And welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where, as always, we got a lot to talk about. But let's start on a positive note. We got to have a huge thank you to you, the wonderful fans, the outstanding fans. Without you, none of this is possible. As we have hit 10K, well over 10K now. Thanks to you guys. You guys are amazing. And we love you so much for it. And
Thank you.
And we'll be here doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just wish he was under happier circumstances.
I do agree with that.
And we all
I do agree with that. It feels like is it even worth celebrating right now? Salute to you, Samir, as well, bro. Hope you guys are well. All right, guys, coming up in today's show. Yeah, clap. Yeah, happy clap.
Space bar. What you on about? Who you on about?
Coming up in today's show, we're going to be talking about the game that was Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Yet another whimper, yet another defeat, no win in 9. And we're going to talk about Steve Cooper. I don't care what people think. All opinions are valid and they will be listened to. And if you don't like them, then don't listen. Don't listen. Or if you have an alternative opinion, not, by the way, all four of us are not in agreement on what we think should happen, by the way, but guess what, we will talk through our points, we will argue through our points, and then we'll either decide to agree or agree to disagree. That's how things work. Yeah, but if people want to hide behind their freaking,
Can I say a few words?
yes, someone speak, not me.
Then me, please,
Yeah.
after you, man.
Okay.
Right then, guys. This is it, right? We're 4 Forest fans. We formed this YouTube video because we wanted to provide more content for Forest. We have respect for all other Forest content creators. We don't slag them off. They do their job. They do good jobs. Great. No, not an issue with us. Just recently, well, for quite a while actually, and we ignore, we don't bite back because we don't want to get into silly Twitter fights. But tonight there's been a few things that have come up on Twitter that have actually made me feel sick. And they're wrong. We've got people saying we're toxic. We've got people saying we're trying to divide the fan base. What they're saying is, if we don't agree with them and it's happy clappy Cooper in, then we're toxic. We're not allowed an opinion. That's fascism. That's fascism. We're not allowed our own opinions. We've got to agree with them. If we don't agree with them, we're toxic. We don't bite back. It's hard not to bite back, trust me. But why should we? Why should we lower ourselves to that? But nevertheless, it's not nice. It's not necessary. We don't go on Twitter and start slagging off other YouTube channels or the Forest YouTube creators. We don't do it.
We don't DM people slagging them off either, Ant.
Yeah.
Why do they feel it necessary to do that? And there's been a personal attack on Wolverine tonight. I'm sick of this shit. He's not a Forest fan. He doesn't go to matches. There's lots of people who don't go to matches. Lots of people don't go to matches for lots of reasons. He lives in Peterborough. So fucking what?
Yeah,
So if somebody lives in North America, they're not allowed to support Forest. They're not a real fan. Is it only us people that live in Nottingham and can manage to get tickets and go? We're lucky. 30,000, is that it then? We can only have 29,000 fans because the rest of them don't count.
Yep.
Why don't people think about what they're saying and get off their high horses and stop being so nasty? Because we're not nasty people. That's it. And
Well said,
that's it.
Well said.
That's it.
Well said.
Well said.
Go on,
Yeah,
Dino.
it's
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate what Anne was saying, really. We're not nasty people, we're fans. I've had a couple of semi-spats on YouTube comments tonight, which were quite respectable both ways, you know. And when we say happy clapper, it's actually an affectionate thing, because I'd love nothing more to be a happy clapper and our current manager be our manager for the next 10 years. And I think we're all in agreement with that. But we're not going to be blinded by some of the things that we see happening at the club, not just Cooper, but the club. Now, that doesn't mean that we're against any other Forest fans or Forest channels or anything like that. It just means we have an opinion. And, you know, I try so much to respect your guys' opinion as well. Whether you agree with me or us or not, we don't agree with each other half the time. So as for some of the comments about dividing the fan base, we're not. We just have our own opinions and we're entitled to them. And everybody that watches this channel, and we appreciate all of you. It's been an amazing journey. You've got your opinions as well, and you can come in here and call us, say we're wrong. You know, and I watch all the other channels. I'm not making a secret of that. I watch Door's channel, I watch Garibaldi's channel, I watch other channels, and I enjoy their content. Because I'm a Forest supporter. I'm a Forest fan since the age of 7. I've been a Forest supporter. So if you don't like the content that we produce, honestly, I don't mean this funny, don't watch it. There's loads of channels of various shapes and sizes out there, and attitudes and opinions. Just go and watch them, seriously.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And what you said about fascism is so spot on. Because what they're saying is, it's our opinion or you're not one of us.
Yep.
I'm not calling out those other channels, by the way. I watch those channels and I enjoy their content. It's completely different to ours. Completely different.
You know the other thing, one more big point actually. The way I feel is that when they insult our channel and our content, they're insulting you as well because you enjoy it. So they're saying you're wrong as well.
Yeah. But it's okay to be wrong.
It's
okay to be wrong, isn't it? It's okay to be wrong. My biggest gripe is if you think what I've said is wrong or what Ez has said is wrong or whoever, don't just say, now you're wrong, What's your reason for the disagreement? That's where they get stuck. That's where they can't fight back. And that's where they don't want to have that discussion. It's just pathetic.
Oh, and it wasn't another channel. It was people on Twitter. So I just need to make
that
very
no, it's got nothing. It's got nothing to do with the other channels. Nothing.
Misguided friends and supporters of
other channels.
Not the other channels themselves. You're not getting any other channel at all.
And LJP, he's Cooper in. Fantastic. If you are Cooper in, you are allowed to be Cooper in. If you are Cooper out, you are Cooper out. But don't go around telling someone to be Cooper in if you're out or out if you're in.
Correct.
That's it.
I think it was Danny that came on the other night, and he was quite firmly, as I recall, Cooper in.
Cooper in.
We had a great conversation. There was no falling out, no bickering. That's just it. We're fans. It's opinions. Bloody hell. That's what football is, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I was just going to make a point about when Marinakis's message came out earlier in the week, and he was backed, and Cooper was backed. All you actually saw on there were people that were backing him. There were a hell of a lot of Forest fans who aren't backing him, but they're scared to put their point across because as soon as they do, they get shot down.
Huge
and
point.
That shouldn't be allowed. And this happened all through COVID as well. Let's go from one thing to another because this liberal way of the world right now is absolute bullshit. And anybody who buys into it needs to really think about what they're buying into, because you're not allowed to have an opinion if it goes against the narrative. Now, who creates the narrative? That's what you got to question yourself. Who's creating that narrative that you can't go against? So we've got our own opinions. I've stated mine quite clearly on the video earlier on. If you haven't seen it, it's there. And we've all given our post-match opinions. This is an opportunity for people to get things off their chest.
And incidentally, mine was quite different, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you look at the contrast between our videos and our comments and our post-match thoughts, and they were raw opinions straight after the match.
I just come off the phone from the Samaritans. That's why mine was so depressed. I couldn't even look at the camera.
I couldn't get through, mate. The line was blocked. That's why mine was the way it was.
Crazy cat lady.
But yeah, my point
is, so every time we lose a game, I'm going to take another item clothing off. So we need to sort something out. Because you don't want to see that.
Worst game of strip poker ever.
Let's have some fun tonight, but let's just get some proper opinions in from you guys. Let's get lots of questions in as well.
Let me do a Q&A.
Dino alluded to it. When it gets personal, and there have been personal attacks against me, against Wolverine, against a couple of us throughout the season and so on, but just tonight there's been a couple personal attacks. No need for them. and they're all false anyway. If you want to give your opinion, give your opinion. That's what it's about, giving your opinion. But don't
£1
blast
just
it down, but
Matt.
nobody else can question it. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you,
Just Matt, the legend. Thank you so much for the £1. Can I say as well, and I'm pretty sure I can speak on behalf of you guys. Well, stop me if I can't. The actual hate opinions, I really love. I love the idea that someone takes an opinion of me who is no better or no worse than any other Forest fan, just a normal Forest fan. Same with you guys, yeah. And it must get under their skin so much. Yeah, that not only do they have to react, but they watch all our videos, all our live streams.
Now.
Yeah.
They'll be in the
They'll
background
be
now.
in
They're
here now,
here
yeah.
sitting in the background
everyone.
silently. Hi, you guys. Hi, you
Hi,
guys.
you
Hope
know
you're
who you
enjoying it.
are.
I have to disagree with Wolverine here. I like warm and fluffy and nice things being said about me. So
I love you, man.
Guys, spam those
He's just a
emojis.
bit
Spam
weird,
those ant
him up there's a
emojis.
bit weird.
Yeah. And Sai is spot on. I don't get how people can hate on Forest fans expressing their own opinions. It's just crazy. And also this happens in other fan bases, but not to this
course,
extent.
of course.
Not
You
to
know what-
look at West Ham.
I would say, what do you think it was? What do you think it's like on West Ham fans' channels?
Yeah.
What do you think it's like on Leicester's channels, particularly before Rodgers went? Fans were upset and angry and expressing their opinions, but because it was the majority, that was all right. But with our fan base, I don't know if it's the majority or not. I honestly don't know. But with our fan base, if you're not that particular way, you're toxic.
Go on, Dino. I'll jump in.
Keith, I hope you're okay, buddy. Apparently your dog headbutted him and broke his nose.
Yeah, Keith, man. Yeah, I hope the nose is all right. Bloody hell.
My word.
So should we get on with some Forest stuff then?
Well, just finally on this, because Matt is a West Ham fan. It's very toxic. Moyes out. I mean, I've even seen tonight, poor Lawless, bless him, as they're saying, just because Moyes has won one match, loads of people have flip-flopped back to Moyes in. It's going to happen. Like, do Forest fans not know what happens in other clubs? Do they not see these things? It's absolutely,
No, we're just in
absolutely
a
crazy.
bubble. But also, just one last point on this. We got together and did this. You guys can do it yourselves. You can make your own channel. And then,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But if you're too scared to put because what we have to do, knowing that we're going to come on, we know we're going to get shot at by some people. You take the rough with the smooth, yeah. Not everybody's going to agree with our comments, and some people are going to be quite boisterous in their views against it, which doesn't make it right either. Just because you shout louder doesn't mean your view is more valid. But you're more than welcome to start your own channels, and if you're any good, we might watch it.
We'll follow it, yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow it. You're more than welcome to do that.
And as I say, none of us are saying that, unlike that lot, none of us are saying you have to agree with us. If you disagree with our opinions, fine. But don't say things like you're toxic, you're dividing the fan base, we need to stick together.
How much power do they think we've got, Ant? Seriously. I mean, that's almost like flattering in a way that we could divide a fan base. Bloody hell. I know we've hit 10K, but I'd like to think there's more than 10K Forest fans out there, you know?
Absolutely.
Anyways, Dino says...
Let's crack on.
Yeah,
let's
let's
talk
crack
about
on.
Crack on.
today
crack on.
and the future.
Okay, well, let's talk about today.
Now it gets really toxic.
now you'll see the real toxicity come out. Where are we with today? Ez, start us off. I mean, let's start with the formation. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, I was like, "WTF?" 3 at the back. After our discussions yesterday, where Dino was adamant he was going attacking, I was like thinking he's going low block to secure a point. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "This is low block FC." But well, we'll go into the game. But what did you think when you saw the formation and the personnel?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I didn't get to join you guys on the stream last night, but my thinking was that he'd go to a back three today. I really felt he would do that because he's trying to. It's damage limitation for him. And when I saw it, I kind of wasn't that surprised and I wasn't that disappointed because that's what I expected to happen. The actual way the game panned out, we looked fairly comfortable that first half, to be fair. We didn't look a threat, but we looked fairly comfortable, and they didn't look a threat, to be honest. But it took one silly mistake. But the mistake came, but there was no response. And that is my concern. There's no response. So I was fearful that if we did go behind, that we couldn't pull it back. And that's as it proved. The second goal was just an absolute mess. And you could just see it come in as well. But yeah, no, I wasn't too disappointed with the lineup because I expected it. Not saying that was what I would have gone with, but at the same time, his job's on the line. There's no doubt about it. Cooper's job's on the line, and he knows that, and he's got to try and get the best out of it he can. I'm just disappointed. I'm just concerned that the players, for the first time, I would say, the players weren't playing for him today. That's the first time I think
I don't know if I'd go that far.
No,
I don't
That's
know.
how I felt. That's how I felt watching him because just because of the way we concede our goals, it's the heads go down and there's no response.
Definitely did. I agree with that.
And the second goal was just like they gave up. It was so easy for him. It was so easy for him. He had 3 bites of a cherry to score that goal, so it was just so easy. And that's what that concerns me, and that makes me think they're not fighting hard enough. They're not fighting hard enough. Whether it's not for him or whether he's lost the dressing room, maybe not quite going that far, but there's no fight in them. There's no fight in those players.
And you had a different take. I watched your post match, and you kind of said, if I remember rightly, I think it was you. You said that you thought that was our best away performance to date so far.
Yeah.
Do you still think that from what you saw today?
Yeah, the reason I think, right, first of all, when I saw
And give your thoughts on what you thought when you saw the team. And
when I
everything.
first saw the team sheet, I was fucking fuming because, it just looked, I couldn't see us scoring a goal. It just looked defensive. But actually, I've got to say, I was quite pleased with the shape of the team. I think we played reasonably well. People might say Villa were bad, but Villa are a good side. They're in absolute top form. So maybe they look bad because we were playing okay. I think we were pressing a lot more than we have. I think that we were having periods of the play where we looked like we could actually hold our own. And obviously, the mistake for the goal was a killer. Now, with due respect to what Ezra's saying about losing the dressing room, I feel it's just confidence. That goal goes in. We know that we don't score away from home, and I think it's natural for players to think, oh, shit. I think there were several good displays as well. I don't know if you want to go into those now or just do
it, mate. Say what you want.
Yeah, and I think Nico had a really good game today.
Yeah, I agree.
As a wing back further up the pitch, and his crossing was good, and I thought he had a really good game. I also thought Joe Worrell had a good game before he went off.
I agree.
I thought that Felipe and Niakate were magnificent. I'm absolutely devastated if Niakate... You know what? If Niakate is out with a long-term injury...
Hamstring, mate.
I will be angry because they did exactly the same as against
Left
West
him on.
Ham. They kept him on.
It's
Fucking
hamstring,
hell.
mate.
A player that's been out for 5 months with a hamstring injury, as a feels something, his hamstring, and you leave him on. That's
criminal.
insanity.
Criminal.
I know we couldn't bring anybody else on, but he had to come off anyway 3 minutes later. So if that's a long-term injury, then that medical staff really should be relieved of their duties. Because
it's
we're
criminal.
Talking about Premier League here, staying in the Premier League. We're not talking about pissing about. And that, just like the West Ham game, so I'll wait on that and I'm hoping. There were some players that were missing and we were all angry about. Lodi, Scarpa, Dennis, all 3 of them were injured. Dennis was on the bench, but he was injured. Lodi and Scarpa evidently are injured. We've been told that. We can only believe what we're told.
Yeah.
So, okay, fair enough. So, in general, I thought the display was pretty good. And I honestly believe, for me, that a fair result would have been 0-0. Because I don't think any team particularly deserved a goal. No team tore through the other team during the match that I can think of. I mean, their goal was a mistake. It wasn't... I don't count the last one because it's 95th minute. That happens in football.
10 men.
10 men. I've seen it a million times. Substitution, whatever. I've seen it a million times. We're trying to get a goal. So I'm not bothered about that last goal. But the first goal, obviously, that was a mistake. That wasn't bad play as such. They didn't rip through us. It was a mistake. Shelby should have kicked that ball out of play.
I don't totally agree with you on that one, mate. I think the defending was poor to give him the opportunity. Navas's save again pushed it out into play.
Yeah.
into the danger area, and then
When
obviously
they give him the opportunity, it was Shelby that gave him the opportunity.
no.
Shelby kicked that ball out.
How far did he run with the ball before he even got to that position and got the shot in? You know, he was given a lot of space. He got into that position, got the cross in, I believe, which was palmed into our 6-yard box. Basically, Shelby's decision was obviously atrocious, but there was a lot of mistakes that led up to that, and he was given far too much time. In my opinion, I'll have to maybe watch it again, but I thought he got in far too easily.
But let's put it this way, yes. If Shelby had just booted that ball out like he could have done,
Of course,
Yes.
we wouldn't be talking about this.
of course.
You know what I mean? So it's his ultimate responsibility, I think. But...
Dino, I want your take on things. So we've had
one more
Go on.
quick before Dino jumps in. Danilo as well. Mwah.
Yeah, but
He's
when
top
we
drawer.
were
He
calling
needs to
for
be
him
on the
to
team
start,
sheet
we
the rest
were
of
wrong.
Yeah, Danilo needs to be on the team sheet the rest of the season, and hope Yates comes back.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah,
he's only going to get better and better.
agreed.
My thoughts, same as you guys. With when the team sheet came out, I was a bit baffled. I was trying to figure out what it was going to do. I saw it as quite defensive. When I saw it set up, I thought, hang on a minute, it's going 3 at the back and then pretty much 5 along the midfield.
Yeah,
It looked like Danilo was playing in a front 2 with Mangala at MGW a lot of the time.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like 3-4-2-1, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's how I saw it.
So I thought, okay, fair enough. And I think we did fairly well first half without actually their goalie having much to do, but then our goalie didn't have much to do. I think a couple of things I want to mention is, one is that Villa are a good side, but they weren't good today. And if you ask 10 Villa fans, probably 9 of them would say that was probably our worst performance since Gerrard. In my opinion, I don't think they were good today.
No, I don't think they were good today at all.
They still walked away with a 2-0 win.
but Dino, did they need to be good today?
I just think they had an off game and we had an opportunity.
Well,
Yep.
see, I'm never quite sure about this. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means whatsoever, but I'm just putting it out there.
I've been
I'm
wrong
always-
before, mate.
I'm always-
Shelby 30-yarder, etc., etc. Win
35,
1-0.
Dino. I'm not letting you off that
I'm
one.
coming in. I got my 3. Somebody put in the comments earlier, I got my 3-yarder today. 3-yard pass.
I tell you what, Shelby actually came on to 130 yards out, but I think Danilo just took it off.
No.
And I thought about you straight away.
Yeah, I know. When I saw him, I was going, "That's it. This is it."
Get him again, Danilo.
Then it was taken off his foot, wasn't it? Can I just finish about the other thing?
You can just 1 second, Dino. 1 second. Don't forget your point, guys. We've got over 300 of you already in here. 64 likes. Just favor, just hit that like button if you haven't already. And Dino, back to your point.
At Wolves, we
Yeah.
went a goal up
Yeah.
and we let them back in. At Leeds, we went a goal up and let them back in.
Yeah.
At Villa at half time, I didn't see them as a threat. I thought we could either go away with a 0-0 or snatch a win. Yet we've come away from that potential 7 points out of those 3 games with 1 point. And that's where we've been going wrong this season. We've lost 23 points from a winning position. I know we weren't winning today, but we have lost 23 points from a winning position. And that, for me, it's got to be down to the coach. It's got to be down to the coach. Because if they're dropping back the players and he wants them to push, then he's got to have serious words, hasn't he? It's got to be an instruction. It has to be.
Yeah.
Unless we
You can
just
tell it's
automatically go negative as players. I don't know, but...
You're right, Dino. You can
that's
tell
the
it's an
last 3
instruction.
games.
It's an instruction because the way to tell isn't from the back, it's from the front. Because the front players aren't pressing the opposition's defensive line. Their stance 8 times out of 10 is to retreat back to the halfway line. Yeah. The only person I really see pressing is Awonyi when he comes on. He's got a little press about him. But the rest of the team tend to just retreat back to the halfway line. That's an instruction. Because if Cooper wasn't asking for that, he should be on that sideline, absolutely leathering at them to get up and push forward and press. But that's what he wants. He wants to compact the pitch. So it is an instruction from him. And if someone
has
can
to be.
convince me otherwise, I'm happy to believe him. But I'm just going on what I see on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Owen's right. Cooper was furious, but he's got a right to be furious. I think some of those players are massively letting him down. That's my point. You know,
It might have cost him his job.
it might have cost him his job. Exactly. I pull back on my comment saying, yeah, maybe he's not lost his dressing room, but I see that when we do go behind, we have no fight in us, and that's the players on the pitch. They're not showing any fight for me. And I think a lot of them have let him down. Morgan Gibbs-White, for one, today, another awful game for me. How many corners did we have? About 8 to 10
Oh god,
corners.
the corners today.
Oh, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. It's like watching Groundhog Day.
Near Carte's throw-ins were far better, weren't they?
Yeah.
At least they beat the first man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I said on the watch along, put him out for a throw in, not a corner. We got more chance. Yeah.
It's poor. It's not good enough from a lot of players. A lot of players have let him down. So they've got to look at themselves as well. The blame's on Cooper because he's the man at the helm. And he's the one who's going to... They're not going to sack the players. They're going to get rid of the manager. Eventually, they're going to get rid of him. Now, that's why, he's going to have to take the brunt of the blame. But the players need to really have a serious look at themselves. There's one or two, like you guys have mentioned, Danilo, fantastic again today. I think he has played himself into the team, but it's too little too late because he's not got the basis around him for him to flourish as a player. And Dino's right, we played a 3-4-2-1 today, and he was the furthest forward of those midfielders.
But is he the right one to be the furthest forward, Ed? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, probably not.
Because he's not. He can't shoot. He can't shoot.
No, that's what's going to let him down every time. He can't shoot. But is there any midfielder in there that we've got that can?
O'Brien comes to mind. Oh wait, he's not registered.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know the reason that was given for Mangala not playing today from the start?
He was fatigued.
How can a professional footballer be fatigued? It's not like he's played every game this season, is it? I don't get it.
What is it with
him? Fatigue. I think it's rubbish, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
never used to use that excuse, did they?
No.
Well, they train too hard then. If you've got 3 games in a week, for me, you should be training.
Agreed.
Your training's on. The players that aren't being picked should be training, but the players that are in the 11, if he wants to play Dinilo for 3 times, for example, he shouldn't even be. He should be playing on his PlayStation for me.
Or in the tactical room, talking tactics. Yeah.
Whatever.
But this seems to be an ongoing problem with Mangala because even when he does start, he comes off after 60 minutes. I don't know what's wrong with the guy. He can't do 90 minutes.
Do you think he can't do 90 minutes though, Ant, or do you think they're saying he can't do 90 minutes?
Well, we don't know, do
Does
we?
he look? When you guys are watching him in person,
Danilo.
obviously you get to see him. No, Mangala here. I'm talking.
Sorry, yeah. He could do 90 minutes.
Yeah, but do you notice it? Because obviously, when you're at the ground, you get to see what's not on camera. Just before he's being subbed up, usually it's around the 60th minute. Do you notice like he's tanking at all?
No.
I'll be honest, I haven't noticed that, no.
That's not been the case, from what I've seen either. And I've made this point. He never seems angry to be taken off. I would be. I would be.
Yeah, that might just be demeanour, though, Ez. I mean, let's face it, you're a live wire, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you would be, wouldn't you? If every game you're starting, you're going to be taken off at the hour mark, regardless of how you're feeling. And like we've just said, he never looked fatigued to me when he's been taken
But Ez,
off.
do you think he's not angry because he's been told before the game? Is this part of the problem that the plan is made before the game that Danilo, come hell or high water, not Danilo, sorry, Mangala, come hell or high water, you're coming off at the 60th minute, yeah? So he knows that's happening. And if that's the case, where's the adaptation to the scenarios that are developing on the pitch if that's the case? That worries me.
No, that is the case, isn't it? He's obviously accepting that. That's why he's not annoyed by it. But if
Did you see his post-match?
What, Cooper's?
Yeah.
More same
Shocking.
old,
Shocking.
Well, it's all about holding him off and defending and not we haven't created enough. Do you know what I mean? Or we've not peppered their goal. It's all about holding them, and it's all too. You said it last night to me, and I was like, no, we're going to go attacking. But that shows you guys in the chat don't listen to what I say. All I can say is Happy Easter from a fellow egg. Just trust me on that one. Other than that,
just on that post-match conference, I know I'm just diverting slightly, but you just remind me. I'm sorry, the questions he gets asked are so pathetic. Did you hear this? I can't remember what the question was. I don't even remember. But Colin said, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Listen, guys.
What's your favourite colour?
No, listen, guys. Managers and interviewers, that's the game. That is the game. You ain't going to stop that. If you ask a question that you shouldn't be asking, you won't get to ask any more. It's simple.
But and you don't ask a question and then say you don't have to answer it.
Yeah, that is a little bit silly.
That's like, don't ask the question then if that's what you're going to respond with, or ask a question.
He could ask the question, and if the manager doesn't want to answer it, he doesn't answer it.
Yeah,
Say,
I think because I think he was.
you know.
I think he was asking him about how he felt when that first goal went in, and what was going through his mind. And
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
wasn't it? And it would have been nice to actually hear what he was feeling at that time. Thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
Cheers for subscribing, John.
Thank you for subscribing, mate. Yeah, so that's what he was trying to get out without really getting at it, and it would have been actually quite nice to hear what he was thinking at that time, because the pressure is definitely on him, and he must be feeling it. So that's what we want to know.
It didn't look like it today.
I was going to say, post-match, he didn't look like he'd broken a sweat.
Yeah, he might as well have done it on a sunbed for me.
Which makes you wonder, what has he been told internally from, I mean, we don't know. But is he under threat? Is he under threat now?
Yeah,
I want to cover this guy later, Freuler. We'll do it later. Joke, man.
Okay, so we got into the game. I just want to talk about the lack of fight. Did any of you at any stage after Villa scored, did you feel like we were getting back into it? Was there any stage where you thought, or was it a case of 1-0, let's pack up, it's done, might as well blow full time? And did you feel anything? Like momentum could shift our way or anything?
I mean, I always feel the same when if we're down by 1 goal. You can always break away. We've got fast players, we've got skillful players, we've got players that can score a goal. So I never think, we're never going to score. I mean, let's be honest. Villa weren't pounding us. Not ever were they pounding us. So there was always a chance we could break away and score. I mean, it can happen, can't it? So I never think, that's it, we're not going to score. And there's always hope there. Not necessarily belief, but hope. You know?
Not for me, mate. I haven't felt like that for a while. Once we've gone behind that, we're going to get back into a game. And last season, I had no worries about it. We'd be down at half time, and we know we'd come out second half and we'd win that game. Not had that feeling for a few months now, for quite a while now this season. So as soon as the goal goes in, for me, I hate to admit it, but I think that's game over. I don't see us getting back into a game.
You know what? It's funny, actually. When the goal goes in, like today, and like at Leeds when the second one went in, my immediate reaction is, that's it, we're fucked.
Yeah. Not last year, though. Not last year, as Ez says.
As the game goes on, I start thinking, maybe we can sneak one somehow, It can happen, a corner, anything, unless MGW's taking it. Anything can happen, can't it? So, yeah.
We can't keep hoping for a sneaky one all season.
We're fucked.
We just can't. We've got to. There's got to be some games, even if you finish in the bottom 3, that we dominate and play well and score goals. And we haven't done all season, guys. And I'm afraid to say that if Cooper remains the manager, we're going down. And that's the first time I've said that all season. The only thing I can think of is to just make that change and just to see what happens. Now, if you want him, if you like Cooper that much, and I respect that, then you've got to expect to go down to the Championship, I think, and then maybe it will be good in the future. I don't know, but I'm a bit older than a lot of you guys most of you guys in the chat, all of you guys in the chat.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
So I'm a bit more impatient than you. I've not got as long a planet as you guys.
My question is, if Cooper was to go tomorrow, we have no idea what new manager will be brought in, what his experience, style, or whatever it is. But let's just say he went tomorrow and we brought somebody in, or we left nobody, like some clubs have done. What are you expecting? It's the same.
Pointing that at Dino.
Is that a question to me?
It's the same group of players. It's the same injury list. Same lack of confidence. I'm just asking the question. What are you expecting? Anybody that wants to take it?
Me?
Go on, Dino, you go with it, because you put the statement out there.
It's the same. If we stayed in the division next year, or we went down.
No. These last few games, if Cooper went.
If Cooper goes now,
Yeah.
What are you expecting to change? bearing in
the
mind we've got
manager.
the team play.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say
Maybe a different approach,
Yeah.
maybe a new impetus for the players,
Yeah.
maybe somebody coming in and telling them how good they are rather than him telling them how good they are and then they're coming in losing most weeks. I mean, we've lost most games this year.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back at the January transfer window that we were quite excited about, that's pretty much been a disaster because I think it's upset the apple cart a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But that's another whole story.
I think Cooper's a fantastic man manager and he's a great motivator, but as a tactician at the Premier League level, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that he's good enough. And the change would basically, like Dino said just there, just give us different focus on it because the players, I don't know, they're not responding anyway to whatever he's saying, whatever his tactics are, they're not responding to him. So something has to change, and anything's better. I've said before, I'm not having Cooper at all costs. You know, oh, he's gonna. I guarantee you, if we stick with him till the end of the season and we go down, his head will turn. He will go to the first offer that first
Palace.
team that takes him.
Palace,
yeah,
I
first
think.
team that comes in for him. So don't think that we owe him anything. He's done. This is what I saw so many comments saying. We owe him this. We don't owe him anything. We pay. He gets paid a very good wage to do what he's doing, and he was given a very good contract as well to keep him in the job.
And good gardening leave money when they go as well, managers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 3
So
year
what's this about owing him something?
Yeah, I think you're preaching to the converted on this channel, to be honest.
Well, I hope so, but I hope some of the guys in the chat realise this as well, because it's not the fact that the fact is obviously the 23 years has been unbearable. And for those of us who've lived through it, apart from Sanad, I mean from Wolverine, those of us who've lived through it, it was torture. It wasn't good. You know, it was not good at any point. So obviously anything that happened last season was going to be a bonus.
That's not to say Wolverine did live through it. It's plenty to the Wolverines. I'm 21.
Obviously.
That's what you mean, isn't it?
I am 21. I
You're
never
an
saw the
fantastic
Premier
fan
League
anyway,
years.
Wolverine.
He's not a Forest fan.
I never saw the
Yeah, that's
Premier
true,
League
yeah.
years.
Can I just comment on, just expand on Gregory's comments? So we got promoted too soon with low players. I think we did get promoted too soon.
agree.
I mean, we scraped through at the end, didn't we? We were 1 point from 7 games, I think, at the beginning of the season under Houghton. And then all of a sudden we're at a playoff final where, you know, everybody else is planning for next season who got automatically promoted. Then we've had to get a load of players because we've got like 6 loan players going back. But you know, and there's been mitigating circumstances, like we said on the stream yesterday. But for me, Cooper at the helm has to live by the sword and die by the sword. And his tactics are so predictable, whether he plays a 5-4-1, a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, it's all counter-attack, home and away, hence our low possession stats. They're almost identical home and away, and we're bottom and second to bottom, as if you saw the stream last night.
Yeah.
So we are so predictable, and Wolverine said it for months and months and months. He has no plan B. And yesterday I kind of realised that was actually bang on. He has no plan B. It's still the counter attack.
You're agreeing with me, Dino.
We never dominate possession, do we? It's just the same thing. We soak, whether we soak low or whether we soak mid, we soak and then we go. So, so he's very predictable for me, and I think that's a big Achilles heel for Forest.
Yeah, just to touch on that, did we get promoted too early? Yes, we got promoted too early in terms of unexpected, but I would say we've been promoted too late, man. I've been waiting for promotion for the last 21 years. Yeah. Now,
from where we were at the start of the season after 7 games.
Yes.
To landing in the Premier League late after the playoff final.
I agree. But what I'm saying, my point here is Marinakis did everything to have this
100%.
club ready at the start of the season for the Premier League, and to add on that, most people in the summer would have been happy with a 5-man transfer window, with maybe getting some of the loans in. He took us to players that we never dreamed we could touch, right? And now people are turning around and saying these players are crap. I'm sorry, but these players are not crap. They're international players, 12 of them have gone internationally on duty for major nations. You've got players who've played in the Champions League, players who've played in the Premier League, players who've played in the top leagues in Europe, and you're telling me they're crap. I'm sorry, the common denominator in all of this is the person who's trying to gel them together. Now, he does have a hard job doing it, but he can't do it with his tactics.
And we can't keep using that excuse of 30 players. How long we're going to use that for 5 years? you know, and we've played the same we've played the same team, I think, just once this year, haven't we? In Wolves to Leeds. That's the only time I can remember where he's played the same team.
I think it's happened twice, but yeah, basically null and void.
Not many. So we've not had a regular formation. He still obviously doesn't know his best 11 from looking at the 11 today and who was on the bench. We've obviously set up for a 5 initially because we got Nico and Toff and Loddy, who are more wing backs. We bought Scarpa. What the hell's gone with Scarpa? But we've got Scarpa, who's probably, I said when we got him, he's probably one of the most exciting people. The best player I'm excited about since Collymore, right? We've hardly seen him because he doesn't fit into the system. Cooper hasn't got a place for Scarpa because he won't drop Jono, quite rightly. He won't drop MGW. He won't play him on the left. He's been bit parting all over the place, and he still hasn't played in his natural right wing position that he played for Palmeiras. So there's a lot wrong at the club, and I think if we take the old Queen statement one year, it's been an annus horribilis, I think, this year, with lots and lots and lots of things happening all through the club. Not just Cooper, but all through the club. But as the first team coach, you carry that burden. You live by the sword. Same as me, I run my own business with a team, right? And it's me that either lives or dies in the business.
Yeah.
Just
the same thing.
Yeah, just one quick point. I mean, if there's any man that the fans should be backing, it should be Marinakis.
Yeah.
He's the one that should be backed. You know,
Yeah.
whatever decision he makes, we should be backing that.
He's been a god to us.
He's put his money where his mouth is. You know?
Best
And it's not just about the money.
a long time.
Yeah, and it's not just about the money, you know. It's not just about money. It's the way he's invested it. He's just to keep us afloat, just to keep us within FFP rules and doing things like that. You know, that takes, it takes somebody who cares about the club to do that, and he's listened to the fans.
I was going to say as well. I don't know if you guys agree, but it certainly seems to me that he actually cares about this club.
Yeah,
You know, he cares about our history. He cares about Nottingham Forest, and there's not a lot of owners that you can say that about, really.
that speech on the council house steps, at the end of last season, that was very passionate, and he said it from the heart, and he pointed at Brian Clough's statue when he made his point. He says, we don't want this legacy to die. I want to build on it, and he has done everything he can. And like I say,
he must be frustrated as hell, mate.
He must
be frustrated. If we think we're frustrated as fans, he must be like, because his money's gone into it big time.
He can't do right for doing wrong. He's listened to the fans. He's backed the manager. He's stuck with him when others wouldn't have, and either way, he's on a loser. He doesn't win out of this, So it's disappointing from his point of view. But yeah, we should be backing him 100%, whatever his decision is, and nobody should be.
Marinakis is a winner. He wants to win. He doesn't want to partake. He wants to win. He wants to take this club into Europe. I'm telling you.
Of course,
that's what he wants to do.
He wants that third star.
Fart arse in
He went to Mallorca in the summer, mate.
You don't want to be languishing down at the bottom of the table for the next 2 or 3, 4 years.
He's got pride. He's got pride in his business. This is his, not just a business for him. This is obviously a passion for him as well, and he's got pride in that. And when he's seeing the club performing the way they have, I don't think anything's changed actually from when. So if you look at the nuances on his statement, it was about the performances and the results have to improve. Yeah,
performances. So he's not just looking at the results,
and I don't think he's looking at today.
See with his own eyes. Yeah, the performances aren't good enough.
Yeah, and I don't think he's looking at today's performance and result and thinking that anything's improved. So, yeah,
if we go down this year, we're going to have a massive rebuild on our hands again next year.
It'll be horrible.
It will be worse than this year. It'll be horrible.
These people that assume that Steve Cooper's going to bring us back in the blaze of glory, they need to take the blindfolds off. But if we go down, that squad is going to be decimated.
Yeah, we won't be able to keep the likes of Felipe and people like that. No chance. Jono, no chance.
And trust me, Cooper won't be there. If we go down, he won't.
I don't think he'll be there. I think he'll go of his own accord. I really do. I've said that for a long time.
Yeah, I think he'll go.
So out of the chat, who was kind of Cooper in pre-match yesterday, and who now has changed? Who now has actually flipped to the other side? Because I I have changed. I'm one of those that yesterday I thought, right, he's going to do this, and we're going to win. And then I just saw more mistakes, more, I don't know, clueless management, and I just, when I say clueless management, I'm talking about things like how many players has he improved since he's been at the club? I can't think of one personally. When you look at the likes of Emery, who?
Yates.
And Jono.
Yates, well, whatever manager has been under has been on that progression anyway. He's self-motivated, mate. He doesn't need a manager to motivate him.
He is. You're right.
Yeah, but I'd say that's a little harsh, I think there have been improvements. Like, you got to remember with Jono, for example, Houghton didn't think him worthy enough of the championship. Cooper comes in and he gives him the opportunity, turns him into a superstar. Yeah,
so the 40 players we've used this year.
I know. I'm not saying there's a lot.
You know what I mean?
But I'm saying it's harsh to say there isn't any. Just
to be honest,
there wasn't any. I said how many.
Oh, how many? Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, a lot of those players don't need improving. They're already good players.
I think the real question
if they were playing
is
to their potential, they wouldn't need improving. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, what if we flip that question around, Dino? Has he made any players worse? I don't know. It's just a question that's come to mind.
We could argue. You could argue yes with people playing people out of position.
Yeah, I was going to say Freud.
Freud too deep, Shelby too deep. Awonyi on the left when we bought him as a striker. Scarpa all over the place apart from his natural position. I mean, where do you want me to finish? Jesse
Lingard.
Well, you all know what I think about Jesse Lingard.
Liam, I respect your opinion. There's been a lot of mistakes, Liam, for me personally.
Yeah, he's
had a lot to deal with, so I do respect your opinion.
And just to answer Dino's question, he asked you guys in the chat. Well, at the moment, over 300 of you have voted. 34% are Cooper in, 49 are Cooper out, and 18 of you are on the fence. Now, if I just contrast... Sorry, Ant, 1 second. If I contrast that, we did a poll about a week ago. When the reports were coming in after the Leeds game. And I think over 600 voted for that. 75% roughly were Cooper in, 24% were Cooper out, and then 1 were on the fence. So it's interesting. And I don't see a problem with people changing their opinion. There are people that tell you you're not allowed to change your opinion, which is pathetic. It means you're just stubborn and stuck in your ways. So it's interesting to see how the mood is swinging. Sorry, Ant, you wanted to jump in?
No, I was just going to say, what was the percentage of people that are Cooper in?
At the moment, 33.
So a third of the people in this chat are Cooper in. I hope you feel welcome. I hope you don't feel that we're trying to change your mind and railroad you, because evidently we're this divisive, toxic channel that forces people to see things our way. And I'm glad to see that there are a third of the people that are Cooper in. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. We want to be able to discuss things and have different views and things. That's what we want.
Yeah. And you are right to hold that opinion. If you feel you have, reasons behind it, more power to you for it. Absolutely. Don't let us or anyone else tell you can't have that opinion.
I can give you lots of reasons why people will say Cooper in, and a lot of them I agree with. For example, he's had an unfair amount of players foisted on him. Most of them, I'm guessing, are not his choices. Any manager will tell you. Any manager will tell you, even if they're trying to bring 2 or 3 players in, it can be hard to integrate them. Steve Cooper's had, as we know, a lot. Also, the injuries. People say it's an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. If you've got the injury list that we've got, whether it's our fault, medical staff, or whoever's fault it is, it's a fact. Cooper's got to deal with those injuries. For example, today, I'm sure he'd like to play Ryan Yates. He couldn't. So there are mitigating circumstances. So I can understand why people want to give him more of a chance. I mean, other people don't agree with that. But that's good. That's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I can see the argument on that one. The argument I can't see. I'm sorry. And again, you can have your opinion. But I would counter this argument every time. Is why this default position of if we go down, he'll bring us up. I just don't get it, man. That one I don't get.
Sense. Yeah.
It'll be a shocker next year, I think, especially with these good players that we have got leaving.
Yeah, moreover, why do people think he's going to stay? Why do people think he will definitely stay if we go down?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't.
I can understand why people think that is.
I don't think he'll definitely stay.
Oliver! There you go, I've shouted you out there.
Hope you well,
know
buddy.
what?
Hope you well.
Forest really pissed me off today because they've ruined our party stream.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
what pisses me off more than anything.
Well, we'll
Our
have to do a
10K party
special.
stream.
We'll have to do a special 10K party.
We
stream
will.
with some giveaways and stuff.
We will. It's. I had a Dino moment last night when I was looking at the numbers and everything. I was like, it looks like we're well on the way to hit 10K today, as in speaking yesterday. And I was like, I just had that moment where I was like, maybe the stars will align. We will win today. Cooper will be the Messiah again.
Nearly choked, sorry.
And then Shelby. Can we talk about Shelby? Please.
Yeah, I will. I actually think he played quite well today, apart from the obvious.
Really?
Yeah. I thought he put some great balls through. There were a couple that he really swung out to Jono on the right and found him. And Nico as well, to his feet. I think he played some beautiful balls today. I think he played quite well. Sorry, guys. But his mistake was an absolute fucking shocker. I mean, no professional footballer should just be tapping it to an
Or amateur.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed with Shelby. I'm going to talk to you guys straight. I think his best games have been off the bench. I don't think he's got the legs. Spacebar, I hate you. You told me he was going to be good. Yeah, you told me Wood was going to be crap. I believed you on Wood, and I tried to believe you on Shelby. Dino, I hate you. You said to me after we bought Shelby that you thought you kind of I almost quite saying, you know what, this one I can see doing something. Yeah, I didn't know doing something would be to get an assist today, but all right, Dino, you were right on that, I guess. But it's just like, you know what frustrated me the most about it? Most of his balls are Hollywood balls, and he chooses that moment to decide to try and play a layoff.
Yeah, he should have just Hollywooded it, shouldn't he? He should have done. Yeah, he did put some good balls. So he wasn't great today. He didn't have a lot of energy, but he is a decent passer when he wants to be. But my God, that was just a killer blow for us today. Because if that wouldn't have happened, we could have actually got something out of the game still.
Yeah. I think
once that went in, we were dead. We were dead. I never thought we'd get back into it.
I just think he weakens us defensively, though.
But because I need to say, because we're both bold, and I keep talking about him doing a 30-yarder. It's not my problem if he plays shit or gives a goal up. It's not my fault. You understand that?
I can't look past you, Dino. I can't.
We might look like brothers, but it's not my fault.
I can't look past you. Were you impressed with him, Ez?
Sorry.
I caught you off guard there.
Yeah, you did. Just the odd balls, like and Dino have just mentioned there, but I just think he makes us defensively a lot worse because we sit a lot deeper. I think with him, I just didn't think it worked in that formation.
Is that his fault? Is that his fault, though, Ez? Or is it again? Is it?
It's down to
One quick
tactics,
second
isn't
before
it?
you answer that. Nottingham now and then. You are way too generous, and he has gifted a membership to Kay, and I love Kay. Kay, congratulations! Welcome to the membership family. Make sure you thank the legend, the absolute legend that is Nottingham now and then.
It was funny earlier. He was sending me voice messages going, "Have you seen the team sheet?" I was just spamming backwards and forwards.
Yeah, bless him. Thank you.
Sorry, Ez, I interrupted you.
No, Ant asked me, is that his fault? No, it's the fault of the tactics and the players that Cooper's picked in that position. I wouldn't have played Kouyaté and Shelby together, to be honest. It's as bad as playing Freuler and Shelby together, which a lot of us have agreed that should.
Which he did after Kouyaté got injured.
Exactly. So it kind of went back to that anyway. Yeah. So no, for me, he's more of an impact sub. You know, I wouldn't start him in the game, and it does set us too. I just think defensively he makes us weaker. You know, there's too many mistakes in there.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be there, should he? Ez? That's the thing.
No, he shouldn't be there.
He's not a defensive midfielder. He shouldn't be there.
No.
He could have got sent off today.
Yes, that was a bad. Yeah, that was a rash challenge. You know, that was a very rash challenge. He did get away with it, and you saw towards the end of the game some of the yellow cards we were picking up. That was through frustration.
Mate, you were falling apart a few weeks back.
This is all over the mining stuff back in the day.
Yeah. When he probably wasn't even.
Are you mining Ant's age or?
I wasn't born, mate. I wasn't born.
No. Yeah, the other guys are too young. Anyway, just talking about Curtin Leeds, I think with Forest, I don't see a cohesive unit. Whereas when Leeds played us, I thought they were very cohesive. It just seemed to work better. It just seemed to gel more. And when I watch a lot of other Premier League games, it all seems to gel more than us. And I don't know why. I don't know because we've not got a settled side. I just don't know. We've got various players doing various things when they come on and off, and it just seems a bit disjointed to me. It doesn't ever seem to flow, and I don't know whether that's because we've got this counter-attacking plan. But I was quite impressed with Leeds when they played us, because it seemed like they've been playing together for years and years and years. I don't know how long they've been together, but we obviously haven't been.
Yeah, but Dino, is there not another case of Hospital FC? You know, if you're there in the ICU unit, you need Forest to come in and give you the kiss of life. Because we've done that with plenty of teams this season. And I got to say, today, I thought Villa were poor. And I really like Villa. I've seen a lot of them this season. And to me, I felt that they came into the game with the attitude of, if we turn up, we've won. Yeah, one of those old classic ones, right? And that should have been the impetus for us to take them on. And we didn't. And they got into maybe second gear at best.
Yeah, we were kind of happy with the draw, weren't we? That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
Just sorry to bring Kurt up again. Kurt, we know you're not a troll, mate. Sorry, having some banter. You know, you're welcome on here, buddy. Just keep it, respectful. That's fine. You're welcome.
Yeah, or don't. It doesn't matter.
Well, no, Scabs. Some people get offended by that comment, so he doesn't need to say that.
I've got Scab on my knee for praying too much for those wins.
Yeah, and I think someone did ask, what does it mean? It is the mining thing, isn't it? What I think it is.
Yeah, it's because the Notts miners voted not to go on strike in 1984 because they didn't want to bend to Arthur Scargill's...
He's not spamming.
Hang on. They didn't want to bend the knee to Arthur Scargill's communist agenda. Arthur Scargill didn't give a fucking shit about the miners. That's why they all closed down under his stewardship.
Yeah.
Next.
And Scab just means not going with the strike, basically. To breaking picket lines. That's what a Scab is.
Does that mean we're Scabs then compared to Happy Clappers?
Happy Scabbers.
Girls, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. You absolute legend. I want to talk about a few other performances, and I want to get to the chat's questions as well. Thanks so much, Dazball, for subscribing to the channel as well, man. 10K is a long distant memory. We're well on our way to 11 now. Appreciate all you guys. I want to touch on, we spoke very briefly about him at the start, and that was Nico Williams. And I've been probably one, if not his biggest critics of the season so far. But in the player ratings, I called him out. I thought he had a really good game. Really solid. He overlapped a bit as well, which I thought was quite good. And his crossing was a bit more improved than it has been.
Do you think he might have been playing in his proper position by any chance?
He may have been, yeah. He may have been. I think you make a point there, Ant. Have we confirmed that he's not a right back and he's more a right wing back?
He's a wing back.
I think we've said that, haven't we? Throughout the season, we've said that.
Yeah.
And with the point I'm getting to is, do we now have to play a formation? I'll point this your way, Ant.
Sorry.
I love this chat. You know what? They're cheering me up, man. They really are.
Already. It's therapy, isn't it?
It is. But do we have to play? Because Aurier seems to be, God knows what's wrong with him. He's out, yeah. But with no cover there.
About that.
Huh?
We've not heard anything about his injury.
Right. I did want to mention this. Sorry.
Yeah. Go on.
That fucking annoys me more than anything with Cooper and the club. Right. It's like Secret Squirrel. We're fans of the club. We want to know why Scarpa isn't playing. We want to know how long certain players are going to be out injured. What's this all secret bollocks? Do you think the other clubs that we're playing against are bothered whether Scarpa's fit or not, or whether Jono's fit or not? No, they couldn't give a shit. But the fucking fans do give a shit. Where are these players? Why aren't you playing Scarpa? Has he got problems at home? Is he not fit? Do you not fancy him? Why does every other club manager talk more openly? It's like secret frigging service. It drives me mad.
They're all the same. Arsenal fans don't even know if Saliba's playing tomorrow. They don't know. Is he? It could be. It might be. Mikel Arteta said that one of his players is back in training. Could it be Saliba or is it Nketiah? All clubs do it. No club comes out and says, bump, 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 there's our injuries.
Yeah, but I think the point Dean's making is, once he's been out, nothing's been announced after the match to say, oh, he's picked up a groin strain or this. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I
like,
agree
okay,
with
the match is over.
Yeah.
Is he long term? Is he short term? What is the story?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. And then Samir's asking about what's happened with Lodi. Lodi's another one, man. He was in the team 2 games ago. He came on. We were told, oh, he got back from Brazil late because he's had a baby. Congratulations again, Lodi. And then he's not in the team. And then he's on the bench. And now he's not even on the bench. And he's picked up an injury. But what's the injury? How long's he out for? Well,
See,
it is Secret
I
Squirrel.
don't necessarily believe that.
I don't either.
necessarily- 'cause I think we would have heard about an injury before now. I think that something's gone off. I think Lodi's very close to Scarpa and Danilo. And I think probably way off the mark. But I think he's had a row with Cooper about not playing Scarpa. That's what
I don't think you're a million miles off the mark, mate. I don't.
Because
I
it's
don't.
just like, even when he mentioned him, he says, oh, it was very brief, picked up an injury. Lodi and Scarpa picked up injuries. Not, they've
Yeah.
got a groin, Lodi's got a groin strain, Scarpa got a kick on his heel, nothing like that. It was very quick. Oh, Lodi and Scarpa have got picked up injuries. Not sure about that.
And going back to your point about what would you expect to change if a new manager came in, I guess I didn't get to answer that question. But my answer back would be that potentially there'll be players who are not favourite FCs that get picked, that don't get picked, that would get picked. Because what you tend to find when a new manager comes in, the first thing they say, hey, crazy cat lady, it's the first thing they say. Thank you for the 99p. A purple cat. Oh, it's one of those stickers. Thank you so much.
99 pence, crazy catler.
Dean, I think you got a slight echo on your mic. But one thing that comes back from having a new manager is the first thing they say to all the players is clean slate. Clean slate. All previous agendas, all previous favoritism, all that is out the window, and I want to select you based on merit. And that's one of the things you get with a manager bounce. And for me, that would be one of the reasons why we might as well roll the dice. The other thing I'd say as well is if you look at it factually, yeah.
What?
Someone turned the Hoover on.
What's going on?
As you turned the Hoover on.
No?
You have, mate. You sound
It's
clear,
not
but
me.
It is you. Okay, stop. It's fine.
Right, okay.
It's fine. Just turn the gain up just a touch. What was I saying? Fuck, I forgot what I was saying.
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the Bell by Sharky,
Yeah,
of
thank you,
course.
Sharky.
Thank you for the £2, buddy.
I forgot what you were saying. mate, sorry.
£2 Andrew Sharp. For the sake of NFFC, I think Cooper must go.
Okay, it's definitely an echo. Thank you so much, Sharky. Someone
Yeah,
is
there
echoing.
is. Yeah, hang on.
I'm
Might be me.
muted, so it's not me.
Yeah, it's me.
As it's you. Oh my God, what was my point? I felt like it was semi-important. So I said the players will get a clean slate, and then that's it. I can't.
Is anybody in the chat listening? Because obviously we're not.
We're not. Yeah. It's gone. Frick it. It's gone. Okay. I want to get on some of the questions from the guys. There's so many questions, so let's start firing through. I'm going to close the poll. 49%.
You were saying about new manager, and when he came in, there'd be no favourites. Everybody would have a clean slate.
Yeah. That was pretty much it.
Recapping.
Yeah, you were saying favourites FC would be affected, and players.
Favorites
as well.
FC would be put out the window. You'd see some changes, but more importantly,
You have
I
to-
think.
Go on. I'm waiting.
No. I think you would see a change in mentality. You would see a change in mentality for me in terms of the style of play. Yeah. And I also think the other thing I would hold against Cooper and his staff is none of that staff is a Premier League experienced staff. Yeah. From Tate to Reedy to all of them, they haven't got it. And if a new manager comes in, he brings in his own staff. And you almost want the players to have a slight fear towards the management. And that is a new subscriber, Ryan Duca. Thank you so much. And I don't think there's that element of fear towards Steve Cooper. Now, I'm not saying crap yourself when you see him, yeah? But there has to be that divide, doesn't there? Like, I hate to say it, but like someone like Ten Shag, right? You saw what he did when he came in. He beefed up with Ronaldo and he showed who was boss. Now, I don't agree. I think Ronaldo is still better than bloody Weghorst, for example, of Man U, right? But he had them when they messed up against Brentford. What did he do? He made them run an extra 10k or whatever it was that they didn't run on the pitch. It's not something I'd ever expect to see Steve Cooper doing. I think he'd sit them down, cuddle them up, and say to them, "Look, lads, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see how tell me how you're feeling, all that kind of stuff, rather than lay the law down."
Helps when you bring the £60 million world-class centre midfielder, defensive midfielder, doesn't it? Helps a bit. And
Yeah, I know.
As well. Anyway, let's not go down the Man U.
Yeah, let's not go down that road. But that's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making. Is like we need someone who's got a bit of authority in charge, rather than this person who just keeps coming out saying believe, fucking Ted Lasso style, believe.
Would you be willing to concede that, nevertheless, it's a gamble, and
yes,
also it doesn't always work? In fact,
yes. But thank you. That's the point. That was the point I was going to make. My main point on it is looking objectively with the facts on the table right now, where we are going, the trajectory is down. Yeah. I would be, even the biggest of happy clappers, yeah, would grant you that on this form, on this trajectory, championship is our destination. Yeah. So for me, this is why I'm Cooper out. For me, you have to do something to break that cycle. Now, I'm not saying bringing a new manager in will guarantee or work, but what I am saying is this trajectory is guaranteed we're going to go. Unless some miracle happens, yeah, it's going to go. And the miracle should have happened from Leeds to Villa. And it should have been what Dean said yesterday. It should have been that the play style was different, that you saw some fight, yeah? It didn't have to be a win. You had to see some fight. I didn't see any fight today on that pitch whatsoever. So for me, it's drastic measure time. It's too late. I think it's too late.
To be fair, I saw some fight. I just didn't see any cohesiveness. And I saw some basic mistakes as well, like Danilo. And I'm sorry to say fine margins or Houghton on you, but Danilo running through the midfield. Awonyi stayed with his marker rather than run wide to the left. So he didn't give Danilo anybody to pass to. So Danilo would have had either a choice to pass to him, or if he'd have followed him, it'd have gone through. And then he did that long shot and the goalie saved it quite easy. And it's just simple little things like that they shouldn't be doing, really. But, Awonyi I'm blaming there.
I also hear a lot of this from the Cooper out brigade. I also hear a lot of this. Well, I always say, well, who do you want to bring in? And I hear a lot of, don't care, anybody. Do you really mean that? Because would you want, for example, Chris Houghton to come back in? And you think he'd do a good job with us? I mean,
no.
No. So it's not anybody, is it?
It's not anybody. Look, I've said anybody in anger after a match. Yeah.
Billy Davies, son.
Bring the king back, mate. Bring the king back.
Previous streams, it's funny.
Look, for me, there's a very, very small pot left that you can choose from. Very small. The problem is their skill sets would have been better served in October.
Like Darren Fletcher.
Well, he knows it all, so yeah, maybe he should get it.
It'd put us top of the league.
Keep us up.
Yeah.
It'd put us top of the league, mate.
But I think the only thing that really gives me some sort of hope that we could stay up is that Southampton are a lot worse. Leicester are worse, and possibly Everton will get a points deduction, and that's the only thing that would keep us up.
No, I also think
that's not based on anything Cooper's going to do for us, and that's what's
but
happening.
I also think that Everton, whether they get points deductions or not, they're on the same points as us, aren't they? Same games. So
I know, but we're picking up results. We're not picking
but
up
they're not,
anything.
are they? They're not.
Depends how many points they get deducted. How many did Reading get?
And then Bournemouth, they could crash tomorrow and lose the rest of the games. It's not certain. I'm just saying.
It's not. Nothing's certain.
I'm just saying it's not certain. I hear a lot of we're definitely down, and I have an issue with that because we're not definitely down.
But I agree.
Life is no must wins. We're not definitely down.
But I agree with Wolverine.
Huh?
On this trajectory, we are heading down.
Yes.
So something has to change. Something has to change.
Of course. Yeah.
I agree with you, Ant. There, we're not down. If you could give me now that we'd still be in with a chance that a win against Palace away on the last day of the season, I'd take that right today. I would honestly.
Yeah,
I would. Because I'm that fearful now after the last 3 games. A point in the last 9. What's West Ham's just got 6 in 9, haven't they?
Yeah.
We could have had. I mean, like I said, Wolves, Leeds, we were ahead, and we just caved. Villa, we were in control for at least a point, and we caved.
Yeah. We've had lots of games like that, to be fair.
Reading
You know,
deducted 6. Thanks, Simon
23
F.
points from winning positions tells you we've had lots of games where we could have got
That would be
something.
depressing if they were deducted 6 and they'd still finish above us.
Can't see that,
I think it's for me. It feels at the minute under Cooper that it's a fait accompli that we go down. I'll still believe that we can stay up until it's mathematically not possible
course, we have to.
But I do think we need a manager change just for a change, because it's just not happening. It's just not happening. You know, it's all still too negative mentality to me in terms of what's been said prior to the game. What's been said post-match is really, really negative in the post-match interviews. Like I think we did well to defend for this long. It's not, you know what I mean? It should be more progressive attacking. And if that's what the players are hearing all week, no wonder we're not doing very well.
It's depressing, guys. It's depressing. I'm just looking at the table now.
I can't honestly see now. I mean, remember when we did those predictions? And we all thought we were all a bit, that's a bit cocky. That's what we get.
Yeah.
Well, mine were way off. Mine were like middle level compared to the chat and you guys. And mine are still way off what I thought we'd get. So I'm now today thinking, like you lot, I mean, where are we going to get the points from?
Yeah.
Well, that is the topic.
Under Cooper. So the only thing I can think is the only thing that we can change to change what's happening is change the manager, I'm afraid.
Which is fair enough.
Unless the
opinion.
argument from those who want Cooper in is that we're going to go down, we go down with him. That's not an argument for me.
I don't want my club to go down. I've
No,
waited
I don't
too
want my
long.
club to. No, exactly. Exactly my point.
23
We're going
years
down without a
in the
fight.
abyss.
Ez, doesn't that just cancel what he did last year out? If he brought us up, then you're going to have
go
to
down without a
tag
win.
against him. He took us down. And, that cancels each other out. We're back in the same position. Okay, you can argue we didn't get relegated last year. Yeah. But doesn't that just make it null and void in a way? In a way, doesn't it like tarnish his legacy?
Of course it does, but not to the Cooper goggles. People with the Cooper goggles on, it doesn't for them. They'll say, "Oh no, he deserves our loyalty," and I just don't go with that. He does a job and he's paid to do a job, and he got us up. But if he gets us down without a fight, and that's what it looks like, we'd be going down without a fight if it carries on like this. And he's tarnished his own legacy.
Hi, Wandering Wolves TV. Welcome to the channel. This guy disses his own manager so plastic. It's not plastic, mate. It's an opinion. Surely at some point...
They were dissing Large, mate.
Yeah, so surely at some point in the season, either you or a majority of your fan base wanted the manager to go.
Yeah,
surely.
of course you want Cooper.
All the West Ham fans are plastic. All the Leicester fans are plastic. All the Southampton fans were plastic. All the Leeds fans were plastic when they wanted Jesse Marsh out. All the Arsenal fans were plastic when they wanted Arteta out. My God, every fan's a plastic fan.
Mate, if you want us to shout out your channel, you just have to ask. Yeah, clearly that's what you're fishing for.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, clearly that's what you're fishing for. We're happy to help with any channel. So just shout it out. But yeah, if you want to tell me you were Bruno Lage in, I'd love to hear that.
But welcome in and
welcome.
Chat away. Let's keep it respectful.
Okay, I just want to look ahead to these other games, man. Man United coming up. Now I've guaranteed a win, but I'll put a little caveat next to it that it needs a new manager for the win. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and obviously I want to rub it in Twist's face so badly. I think even Twist is feeling sorry for us that he would probably, take us getting a draw out of it just so we don't go down. But realistically, because Dino, what you said about our predictions, I mean, we are so far off. I think me and Sai were on the least points, and we're miles off. Yeah, where we are, right?
Yeah.
But Dino, do you see anything out of the United game with Cooper in charge?
No, I don't. The only saving grace is Rashford could be out, but then Casemiro's back, so kind of cancels itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Martial.
It's not Rashford that's the problem. Martial's the prick that always scores against us.
Yeah. And he came on.
Yeah, I mean they look decent today. I mean, if it weren't for Pickford, they could have been going down 8-0 at half time, couldn't they?
Didn't they break a record? 21 shots.
They had a blinder.
They are decent at Old Trafford. They're shit away from home.
Yeah. Well,
sounds familiar, Ant.
Okay, and Andy's put it on the head here. We can't expect to. We've got to go for wins now. We've got to go
That's
for
it.
wins. It's other teams won today. Leeds beat us the other day. It's just we've got to go for wins. Shit
Where
or
do you guys
bust,
feel
as they say.
where do you feel the turning point was? For me, it was the Everton match. If I'm being honest with you guys, when we didn't come away with a win from the Everton match. If you remember the scenario, if we'd beaten Everton, we would have been 7 points clear of
Yeah.
them. They would have been in the absolute shithouse. And now, when you look at the table, we're level on points with them. And they're ahead of us. Let's be straight here. They're ahead of us, right? Do you feel that was the turning point, or do you guys differ in your opinions on that? And where do you see? Because you're always quite interesting on this debate, like it's not over till it's over kind of thing. But would you acknowledge it has been turning points, swings and roundabouts in the season?
Turning point for what?
Momentum. I'd say momentum. Because like in January, we were best form team in the league, and everything was rosy. The sun was shining out of our asses. Where has this slump happened? Because it's kind of, and then we obviously drew with Man City, but then ever since it's the Fulham game, really, you could argue. Thank you, Carl, for subscribing.
Carl.
Is it the Fulham
Carl.
game or was it the Everton game?
We've not really had any momentum. I don't get you. We've never had momentum. We went through a small period after the World Cup, I believe, when actually we weren't particularly winning games, but we were getting draws and we were doing okay. We were one of the form sides. We weren't losing, were we? So whenever that little run finished, then that's where it turned.
So you'd say Fulham then? Because that's where it turned, wasn't it? That Fulham, like, dog shit performance.
3-2. Yeah. I don't know what came after that, if I'm honest. I can't.
Fulham.
After Fulham.
Was it the Bournemouth one after that or before that?
Man City after Fulham.
Fulham, Man City, West
Yeah,
Ham,
yes.
Everton, Spurs. That was the run.
I would say West Ham then.
Yeah,
Because-
you know what? West Ham's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
A point at home to Man City cannot be considered a bad point under any circumstances. I know that they had plenty of chances, but they didn't score them, so it doesn't count.
What about you, Ez?
That West Ham? Sorry, but very quickly. Sorry,
Go on.
that West Ham was a killer. That was a killer. That West Ham result. And
Yeah,
performance.
you do have a point because again, the West Ham scenario was if we beat them, we were going to be 6 or 7 points clear of them, and then the same narrative flipped into the next match, which was the Everton one.
And we were hammered. We didn't just lose. We were
No pun. No
hammered.
pun.
Oh,
Very good, Anne. Very good.
truly unintentional, as you can tell.
Yeah, chat. Where do you feel it was? Do you feel it was that West Ham game, or do you think it just built slowly after that? What do you reckon, Ez? Where did that momentum shift happen?
Yeah, if you're going to pinpoint it, you probably would say the West Ham game, because if you look before that, apart from the League Cup ties against Man U, we were on a bit of a decent run, to be honest. We got a draw. It's not a great result, but a draw away at Bournemouth. Before that, we beat Leicester at home. We'd picked up the away win against Southampton early on in January, So we were on a bit of a run then. But yeah, going into that West Ham game, even if we write that one off, the following game was Everton at home, and you're right. If we'd got the result that game, and it was the same against West Ham, by the way. Let's not get that wrong. But Moyes would probably have been gone. Anything less than a 4-0 win, he would have been gone. We were saying even a 2-0 win's not good enough.
Yeah.
So
We saved Brendan Rodgers' job as well, didn't we, initially?
exactly.
Yeah.
We gave him a stay of execution.
Don't forget Conte as well. We extended him out.
Yeah. So there was. It's just never picked up. That's the issue. There was not really much momentum, but it's just been downhill since then, mate. And there's been the performance has been poor. That's the thing. We said today we would have taken I would have taken a performance. Honestly, I would have taken a good performance and losing, but we didn't get the performance and we got the defeat as well. So I'm just looking at it from Marinakis' point of view and sticking to what he said in his statement. I can't see how he's feeling any better now, or he's more determined to keep hold of Cooper. I just think that it spells the end for him. I may be wrong, and I've been wrong already a week or so ago, but I just think his patience has run out, and he's not going to want us to go down. He's not going to allow us to go down playing the way we are with no fight, and that's the thing that I criticise the most, but lack of fight. And that comes from the players, that comes from the manager's tactics and his decisions on and off the field. But he's the one who's going to end up having, feeling the brunt of it. But there was no real momentum that we had. We just had a couple of decent results and then it just went downhill, and it just plummeted since then. So there's nothing really that's happened in the last couple of months that gives me any hope that we were turning a tide. It's just been going from bad to worse for me.
Yeah. Dina, we got to jump into some of the chat's questions here because there's loads of them. Let's jump into a couple. Let's pick a few at random. Sharky says, why do you spend so much time and effort on these streams when the manager and coach and happy clappers keep heading for the iceberg Titanic style? Thank you.
For the fans. For the fans.
For the fans, by the fans, Sharky. Yeah, it's... That's why, because we love the club, man. We love the club.
Yeah, and to give you guys an outlet, as well. We all have an outlet together. You know, every time there's a game, and all throughout the week, the four of us are in constant contact, and Simon as well, Simon Jones. But yeah, it's these are most of this year has been therapy streams, isn't it? At the end of the day,
I mean,
and just to sort of, before you move on to the next question, sorry. Somebody stole my thunder and said Newcastle away is the way it went wrong, but I actually think the January transfer window messed us up big time.
Okay, yeah, good take.
Players that did not fit our system that we were going at.
Okay, I want to come back to that point, but I just want to jump through another question. I think the January one, I've seen a lot of comments on that as well. Robin Holland says, why can't we back our man Coops? We can, and we will, and we can. And then he's got a few emojis. Ez.
Yeah. What's the question? Sorry. I'm just looking at
why can't we back our man Coops? I guess is the main question that he is.
I think we have backed him. I think we backed him beyond. I made the point quite clear. Any other manager in any league in the country, in any league in the world, with that run of results, with that run of performances, would have been sacked. He's been kept in the job purely from fan backing. And Marinakis has almost been a little bit scared to sack him. But Marinakis shouldn't be the one who's fearing for anything. He's done more for this club than any other owner since Doughty. You know, Doughty literally put his life on the line for this club, but the rest of them have been shocking. You know, we lived through the Fawaz era. We saw what was going on there. You know, it's absolute joke. And we finally got an owner who cares about the club, who's put his money where his mouth is, who's backed the manager even when most others would have sacked him. He's backed him. But the patience only lasts so long because end of the day, it's his investments, his club, and he will do everything to keep us in the league. So Cooper's been backed. Nobody can deny that Cooper's been backed. And Cooper will say it himself, you know, the fans sing out his name unlike any other manager I've seen. Even since the Cloughie days, you know, I've not seen any other manager get the backing, apart from maybe when they wanted Billy back. But then we had McLaren at the time, so anything was better than fucking McLaren, mate. But other than that, you know, I've not seen any other manager back the way he has. So nobody, as a Forest fan or looking in or looking out of it from the outside, can say that Cooper hasn't been backed. He hasn't delivered. I'm sorry. It's on him.
Good answer. And I'll chuck this. Well, this one's a statement for you, Ant. It doesn't need a response. I think you may want to. Jack says, Ant for Forest manager. Nah, Jack.
Good choice.
Sorry.
Can you imagine it?
To laugh so loud.
Let me give you
kicked around.
I've been you three as my assistants. You know, I wouldn't do it all on my own.
Oh,
No,
okay, maybe then. I'll give you this actual question now from Big
Wolverine be head physio.
Do you honestly think that we would be doing any worse?
I don't
Honestly,
think we would,
no.
actually. I don't think
No.
we would.
I don't. We've all got football knowledge. We've seen a lot of football. You know, we love our club. Yeah, we'd be all right.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you one thing.
I'd keep playing Shelby, wouldn't I, for that 30-yard screamer, so I wouldn't be any good.
One thing I will say, we joke about that, but there's a lot of what we've said throughout the year that eventually Cooper's turned to and done, and it worked. Yeah, especially when we went into that January period.
Yeah. And the chat, not just us.
And the chat, and the chat. Collectively, some of the stuff we've said has been absolutely nailed on. But the actual question here, Ant's from Big Mart, saying, and this is going to be an interesting one. Is Navas overrated? Would Hendo have done any better?
Navas is not overrated by me because I didn't rate him that much in the first place. But in general speaking, when I hear people say world class and all that lot, not for me. I would much rather have Henderson in goal any day of the week.
Yeah, I got to agree.
Henderson's got so much more to his game, in my opinion. You know, he commands his box better. He's a bigger presence. He's a great shot stopper. I'd have Hendo any day. And Navas, no, not for me.
Fair enough. As you agreed with that, did you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he's certainly better than Hennessy, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna pick between a fit Henderson and a fit Navas, for me, it's Hendo every day of the week. I'm not gonna say that because obviously it's hypothetical. You can't say that Hendo would have definitely saved some of the shots that Navas hasn't. You couldn't definitely say that, but it just instills more confidence, certainly in me as a supporter, when Hendo's in there. And I think some of his performances between the sticks really, really made us look a lot better than we were, and gave us points that we shouldn't, maybe wins we shouldn't have had. Liverpool springs to mind. Liverpool at home springs to mind straight away. That game, if it hadn't been for Hendo, we wouldn't have come out with 3 points from that game. And
I mean, the
James-
final thing for me, was when he pushed that ball out against Wolves. I cannot see Henderson ever doing that.
It's a shame Sai isn't on because he would be backing Navas. He's saying he's not done
He's in
much
the
wrong,
chat.
to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, he's in the
sorry,
chat.
I
That's what I'm
said
saying.
he's
I
in
was
the
just
chat,
bringing
yeah.
up his points. I agree. I think my biggest frustration about the Navas thing is that we were lied to about the Henderson injury. Now, Navas, I'll take him any day of the week over Hennessy. But the lies about the Henderson injury for me, it was an absolute joke from the club to say what they said. Okay, Dino, question for you. It's from Long-Haired Yetis. Hearing there is talks with Vieira. Thoughts? I haven't heard anything. I don't know. We obviously heard that last week. But hypothetically, Vieira, could you see him doing the job, Dino, in these last few games?
The manager merry-go-round is a weird one, isn't it? You know, you look at Lampard, who's got a 27% win rate, and he's ended up bagging a load of cash managing
Champions
Chelsea
League.
to the end of the year and losing today, by the way. It's just a weird one.
agree.
I think certain managers fail at clubs and then go to other clubs and be really successful.
Yeah, that can happen.
Whether we should choose now or just get a kind of caretaker in, a bit like Palace have with Roy, and a bit like Chelsea have with Lampard. Just somebody to steady that ship
Firefight.
until we can take a break and sit back, rather than just make, because there'll be more managers available definitely in the summer. Not just people that have been sacked, but people that are under contract or they want to move on. They want to come to the Premier League if we're still in the Premier League. So I don't know about Vieira. I mean, the way I feel about Cooper at the minute is he's a one-trick pony, and I'd pretty much take anybody other than Ron
Yeah, I
Atkinson.
think he's been
Houghton.
found out. Ron Atkinson or Houghton, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's been
it's-
found out.
Ron
mate.
Atkinson don't even know which side the bench is on, or when he came.
Oh, God, do you remember that?
Remember that?
Classic.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's
that.
It's
that
Arsenal,
game. Oh
wasn't
my
it?
god, how embarrassing!
It was
He walked
against
to the wrong
Arsenal,
bench.
And were you there that day?
Yeah, I was there.
I was there
Yeah,
that
right.
day. Oh my!
He looked so stupid, man. He
He just
just
come on
knew.
holiday, hasn't he? That's why.
He was all tanned up, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was
God.
stand up. Yeah.
Not that I'm old
Blend
enough
up
to
and
remember
tab
that, chat. Not that I'm old enough to remember
Oh,
that.
stop it.
Okay.
But I don't want to talk about. You know what? I'm not going to give Cooper the disrespect of talking about another manager coming in until he's gone. To be honest, the same way you wouldn't talk about a player as a manager, you wouldn't talk about a player you're looking to buy until you've
Yeah,
actually signed
yeah.
him. So yeah, I'll
Oh,
give
yeah,
him
you
that
just
respect.
told him he's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to
Yeah,
go, but I haven't said who's got
I
to come
think
in yet.
if you're saying, I mean, I've said all along, haven't I, that if you're saying he's got to go, I want to know you're going to replace him.
I
with.
think,
No, that's
yeah.
not my job. That isn't my job, though, is it?
Yeah, but you're a fan.
But it's your opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion, but I don't want to talk about another manager coming in until he's actually gone. I just think that's
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I've held that position all along. £2 more from the legend that is Sharky. I'm
Sharky.
so angry I'd take Stevie Wonder.
£2
Sharky, have you sacked your
Andrew
butler
Sharp.
yet? Is
I am
off
so
your extra
angry. I would take Stevie Wonder.
Look, I would. It's a question. Calm down, says Longhead. Look, I was always of the opinion of pay him the respect. Don't talk about who's available and what have you. But the questions are being asked, and you know what? I'm at the stage now where it's worth the talk. For me, Vieira, just to answer the question, Vieira's a project manager, not a firefighter manager, in my
You've
opinion.
mentioned Nuno before. I think Nuno's. I mean, now I'm talking about other managers, but Nuno's got his benefits
We roped him in.
for the language barrier, for the language issues. I saw it again today when Cooper's trying, or it was Tate trying to get some messages across to Danilo, and you've got to get the physio to go and translate it for him. It's not good enough.
Yeah,
Bloody
Nuno,
hell, we've already got
Portuguese.
Scarpa to translate. Do we need another one?
Well, Scarpa wasn't there, man. That was the problem.
Yeah, but that's not Scarpa's job, and I think he was a bit peeved off by that. He kind of made to bring it up. To bring it up in that podcast. I think that was something that's grinding on him a little bit. So yeah,
Sorry, long Yeti. I don't know whether that's aimed at me or something else in the chat.
I think he's
Explain,
talking to
please.
the chat. I think he's
Yeah, I
talking to the chat.
don't know what that means. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Bobby's asking how much is the parachute payment? I believe it's 90 million over like 3 years off the top of my head, Bobby, something like that. It's there or thereabouts. Okay, I guess we talk about realism now. Dino, are we surviving or not?
With Cooper, no. The
Without?
only hope for me is another manager bounce and another manager, new impetus. But with Cooper, I can't see where points are coming from, mate. So down. That's the first time I've said that all season.
Fuck. And I'm going to ask you the same question, but guys, I'm putting it out in a poll. And do we survive?
Yeah, we've got every chance of surviving. I'm not suicidal. I mean, I look at the other clubs around us. They're shit. It's not an issue. And I think we can scrape enough points together. I'm not saying we definitely will, because nobody can say that. But I'm certainly not giving up.
Good man. Ez?
if nothing changes, as in i.e. the manager, then I believe we're down. Anything that keeps us up, I've kind of alluded to already, is the two teams worse than us already behind us, and Everton getting docked points. And that's the technicality. That's not going to be based on our performances. So with Cooper, as it stands, no, I don't think we do stay up unless we get very lucky.
Okay.
So you really don't like Worrell, do you, mate?
He doesn't.
Oh my God! Even when we met you at the pub, the first thing you said was about Worrell.
God. Sai, so let's see what the chat is saying. Sai's saying yes. Bobby, sorry, saying with the manager change. Sai saying the same thing with the manager change as well. You've seen our upcoming fixtures, says Chapo. Unfortunately,
Yes,
I have. At the moment, the chat is saying on the poll, 28% are saying we survive, 72% are saying we don't.
Wow.
And you know, I'd be interested. And again, you're welcome to your opinion. Of that 72% that are saying no, are any of those Cooper in? That I'd really be interested in their opinion, just as a matter of curiosity. You know, that would be quite.
Yeah, no and
interesting.
Cooper in, yeah. Oh, you know and Cooper in, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. I think we'll wrap up there. Where's that hour and a half gone? Look, I hope there's gone some way to help in. Maybe just gathering us together. It always feels like, you know, we've got hundreds of us here. It just feels like it's easier to swallow than sitting and staring at a wall and just, you know, mouthing off
If
my
we swap
missus or
place with
something.
either Leeds or Wolves, we can go into their stream next time and
Yeah,
have a bit of banter with them.
I think the key message is it's not over. There's 7 games to go. Still, 21 points to play for. Is it 7 or 8 games?
It's 8.
8, isn't
How many
it?
played? It's got to be at least 8.
8
Okay.
games, isn't it?
Or they've got another positivity. 24 points to play for then. Is it?
Wait, let me just double check. So.
1,
gotta be
2,
at
3,
least
4, 5, 6,
eight
7, 8.
games,
Yeah,
yeah.
24 points to play for.
Yeah.
So we could still finish in
fine.
Europe. We could still
No,
finish in Europe. That's where we'll leave that. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, and I know a lot of you haven't. We've had well over 300 in here.
Thank you so
Again,
much, guys. And we
Thank you
will
for the
we
10K
will
as
do
well,
a
guys,
10K party
Yeah.
stream, and there will be some goodies up for grabs, guys. So please keep stick with us. Hit that notification button if you haven't already. But thank you so much for your support on all our
Yeah.
platforms.
And happy
And-
Easter tomorrow for those who
celebrating
celebrate.
it. And just again, a huge thank you from the bottom of everyone at FFTV for the love, the support, the subscribers, just being here, just being part of the family. We've hit that big 10K. It's onwards and upwards. There was a few of you asking earlier, if we go down, will FFTV still be around? The answer is, of course.
course.
Yeah, we're here, man. We're here. So Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We'll see you
Beat the
tomorrow.
drop.
Probably on the in-depth analysis or something.
Oh yeah, beat the drop on Monday as well.
Beat the drop on Monday as
Do
well.
not miss
Oh,
that.
Be looking
Do
forward
not
to that
miss
one.
that, guys.
I thought about that today, actually.
you know what? I've got a migraine.
Drop.
Dino, do you want to host it?
Yeah, Dino, do you want to host?
Dino, do you want to host? I got a real bad headache coming on.
No. You can't bowl out of that one. I'm proper watching that one. I'm putting my feet up with a cup of tea.
And
I'm
are
only,
you feeling?
I'm only
Guys,
talking
watch
to
it on.
Chappie.
Funny on
Chappie's the
Monday.
only one I'm going to talk to.
And Mikey, don't forget. Sorry, Mike.
Mikey, yeah. Sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike ringing sick.
Well, the other Mike's wrong in sick. He's gone hiding in Benidorm at the moment after Man U beat Everton. So, yeah. And if me and you have a talk, maybe we'll both like get a headache or something tomorrow night. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next video. And come on, you Reds.
Come on, you Reds.